Alright everybody, Boltec here, and I'm back with a Battlefield 1 video. Now I want to get this out of the way right off the bat. This is not my footage, this is IGN's footage. I'm just fucking hoping that it's legal to use or whatever, but I wanted to give you guys something to look at that's Battlefield 1 related because I want to talk about something that I feel needs to be paid some attention right now, and that's sort of the whole problem where we have people who expected a game, half the people kind of expected the game to be historically accurate, bolt-action rifles being the primary, weapon, limited MG class, or sniper class, maybe, definitely no SMGs. I don't think many people expected that at all. I think they nailed the vehicles. Now, I just want to get this out of the way as well. I'm a huge fan of Battlefield 1. I think it's going to be fantastic as is. I think that, these World War I games are as alien to most of these kids playing games now as the guns they make up for the futuristic games. So, I just think it's fantastic. Plus, I've been hoping for a World War II, World War I game for a long time, and to see a company with the caliber of DICE, LA do it, or EA do it, is just amazing. But the main thing I want to talk about is this sort of conflict, between people who are okay with the game that they've created and people who wanted a more historically accurate game mode. And so in previous Battlefield games, you've had, hardcore, and you've had, standard game mode, and usually that's just a difference in damage model. In Battlefield 4, they didn't really pay much attention to it at all. Near the end there, they did a bit of balancing, but all in all, I mean, hardcore was difficult to play, especially with the tick rate the way that it was. If you didn't have really good ping, it just wasn't a fun game to play. But I think that the issue that needs to be addressed is that the people that won't be buying this game are the people who don't see it as historically accurate and don't see it as a historical representation of, World War I warfare. And I think that I have a solution to that. So, instead of making a different game, and instead of people turning to games like Verdun to get a more tactical experience, why doesn't EA create a game mode like, let's say, historical mode? Okay, so instead of creating new content for the game, all you really do is jumble around the classes. Let's say we have 4 classes. We have infantry class, and we give the infantry class strictly bolt-action rifles that are true to the period and historically accurate to the countries that are using them, and make that the primary class. Give them each a limited first aid kit, let's say 1 revive, 1 bandage, that kind of thing. So they can heal themselves and one other person, and they can revive one other person. And then limit the number of MG classes, so have an MG class, but let's say, 3 or 4 people per team, or, a percentage of the number of people on that team. And do the same with a sniper, so that you don't have this, everybody choosing the MG class or the sniper class to avoid playing the infantry class. And then, maybe give the tank drivers, SMGs to make them just a little bit more effective when they jump out of their tanks. But, to mostly take the SMGs right out, because I think we can all agree that most of the SMGs in this game are prototypes at best in the World War I era. And, you wouldn't really have seen them in day-to-day combat, in the long slag that World War I was. So I think that these changes could be made relatively easily and at a relatively low cost by DICE and DICE and DICE LA and EA and whoever the hell is working on this game. And instead of having to make new content, you can just sort of reconfigure the stuff that's already in the game to sort of make a different gameplay experience, so you have more of a historical experience. And this will kind of slow the game down. The ammo boxes dropped by, the MGs would become a much more valuable resource. People would have to sort of center around those resources, in order to continue to rearm themselves. There wouldn't just sort of be an ammo box around every corner. And, you couldn't just have unlimited revives continually getting your team up. Each soldier would have, just 1 medic pack, and you'd have to decide what to do with that medic pack, whether or not you wanted to use it on yourself or help your teammate, and who you want to get up. If a number of people go down, do you get up the guy who is, the most skilled, or the guy who's going to be able to help you the most to survive? I mean, who knows? It brings in a whole other, list of factors for the game. So these are just some of my suggestions. I think a lot of people would really enjoy a historical mode, and I think that it would be relatively cheap and easy for EA to do. So, if you guys like this video and you think that it'd be a good idea, help me out. shoot me a like, shoot me a comment, tell me what you think about it, and yeah, I'm just glad to be putting my ideas out there and be part of the gaming community. Have a good one, guys. Come on.